Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me on my channel today where I discuss all things fountain pens, inks, and planners. Today we're doing my September currently inked, and no, I am not doing 15 inks 30 days in September. With being so busy in August and just coming back and still recovering from whatever I've got, I just thought this would be a lot more sustainable and manageable based on my energy levels. So I'm inking up 10 pens for the month of September. And I've got all of my pages set up ready in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I have something new that I'll be swatching with today. This is an Browse ornament nib that I received from the monoline workshop at the SF Pen Show. So similar to a speedball bee nib, but built slightly differently. And they do the exact same purpose. One thing that I did want to mention today, though, is that I was probably using these and storing these incorrectly. When you are dipping these in ink, you do not want to ink all the way so that the nib holder gets wet. You do not want to get this wet at all. Although the rubberized nib holders do help to prevent a bit of the rusting. But if you have a nib holder like this that has the metal in here for the nib holder, then you do not want to get that portion wet. And then with these, you actually don't want to push them all the way in. You want to actually keep them just a little bit out like that. And then when you're rinsing them, only rinse basically from here and then dry them off completely. All right, so we'll go ahead. And then this is a nib holder from Zodiac Pen Co. Bart had a whole bunch of these blanks in his inventory, and he decided to make one of these for myself and for Corolla as well. All right, so let's get started. The first pen and ink combination is my newest Sailor Hachimanjia Pro Gear in the Sakura Bloom. This has a fine nib that has been tuned and smoothed by Kirk Spirit. Like, just look at that. And this is inked up with a new ink that I purchased at the San Francisco Pen Show. It's inked with Kobe Strawberry Chocolate. I haven't actually even done my ink haul yet from the San Francisco Pen Show, and that will be coming up soon. So I'm going to be very careful with this. So dipping just until the black portion, so that enough to fill the reservoir. And then I'm going to do this very slowly. I already love how beautifully pink that is. Now I just need my blotting paper, or else it's just gonna be a huge mess here. So this is my Sailor Hachimanjia Pro Gear in Sakura Bloom with a fine nib, and it's beautifully tuned and smoothed by Kirk Spear. And I have Kobe Strawberry Chocolate. I'm already loving this combination, and it's what I'll be using in my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal. The next pen and ink combination is my Leonardo Furore in Aqua Petra, and I have it inked with Tono and Limbs Rhodolite Garnet. And I'm going to also do a swatch similar to this. I wanted to try and do something a little bit different this month and use these new nibs that I got. And I had actually purchased these from PenChalet, but they're on back order right now, so I do apologize. I don't know where else you can find them. You can try and find them on Amazon, but even our instructor said that these are really difficult to find right now. I mean, speedball bee nibs definitely do the job as well. So there we go. Look at that beautiful, beautiful ink. Getting a little bit more down at the bottom there, just so that I can get some of that shading going on here. And now we have, I love this. I bought this pen secondhand. I can't remember if it was off Instagram or Reddit now. So this is my Leonardo Furore in Aqua Petra. And it has a fine nib. And this is Tono and Limbs Rhodolite Garnet, a sample sent to me by the lovely Roxy. Beautiful. I think that really brings out the purpley pinks that are in here. Really lovely combination so far. So my Leonardo Furore with Tono and Limbs Rhodolite Garnet. The next pen and ink combination is my newest pen from Zodiac Penco. This is a Sagittarius model in the Primary Manipulation 5 by Jonathan Brooks, and I have it inked with Robert Oster and Endless Pens New Year, New Hue. Wow, I've been naming that wrong, so I'm just going to agitate this a little bit here. And this actually has an extra fine nib. Oh, that's not what I'm doing first. What am I doing? Goodness. So making sure that this ink sample is agitated so that I can use that ornament nib. Like, look at that shimmer in there. Okay. And dipping my nib. I feel like I'm being very careful now because I know how to use this nib, but I also know how to take it apart and clean it. Oh, such a pretty color. And one of the key things with monoline, and that's not what I'm teaching here obviously, but one of the key things with monoline is to go very slowly so that you get that consistent line. And it's actually very soothing. Lovely. So now this is my Zodiac Penco in the Sagittarius. I just really like the overall weight and feel of the Sagittarius model, and this is in the PM5, and this has an extra fine nib, and the ink is Robert Oster and Endless Pens New Year, New Hue. So far, looking really lovely. And you know what I've noticed that I haven't done with any of the inks so far is just doing my figure eights and my lines. Lovely. And like, look at the shimmer that's already coming out in this one. And like with this pen, you could put absolutely any shimmer ink in here. It's fantastic. So that is my Zodiac Penco Sagittarius with Robert Oster and Endless Pens New Year, New Hue. The next pen and ink combination may not necessarily be a match in pen body and ink color, but I've got my Esterbrook Model J in Antique Rose, and I have inked Dominant Industry Maple. Now, I felt like maybe I could have gone with a brown, and I don't even have enough browns in here, but I wanted to use something going into September, going into fall, and I just thought the color of this and how it looks like a tree and wood with the ink named Maple, I thought would be a good match. And it's not an ink that I use very often. Like this color family, the orangey reds, they're not something that I have too many of, but I really love this ink. Sorry, I'm just getting so into these monolines. Love that. So we now have my Esterbrook Model J in Antique Rose, and this has an extra fine nib. Are we surprised? No. So this is Dominant Industry Maple. And I love that it's not red and not orange. It's a good mix, good balance between the two. So again, my Model J Antique Rose with Dominant Industry Maple. The next pen and ink combination is another new pen, another acquisition from San Francisco Pen Show. This is from Hines Pen Co. and it is their Model K, and the resin is called Heimdall. Can we just look at how shimmery and lovely that is? I saw this originally at the Pacific Northwest Pen Show, and Jim had it in a different model altogether, and I said, can I have that in the Model K, which is the perfect size for my hand? And Jim personally made this for me, and Francisco brought it to the San Francisco Pen Show, and I love it. And it now has the copper or the bronze nib, I'm not sure. So this is inked with Diamine Dusted Truffle. And I know it's not Christmas. Well, I mean, if you ask many Filipinos, as soon as it's like September 1st, all of the malls in the Philippines are blasting the Christmas music. But I just thought this ink was such a perfect match for this pen. Like those shimmers. So stunning. Oh, love it. And I know it'll be really fun for me to find other brown shimmery inks to go with this pen. Oh, so fun. And I apologize, that was all out of focus. Here we go. So we now have my Hines Pen Co. in the Model K. I have a Model J and a Model K, and this is in the Heimdall. Ooh, if I can spell. And this is also an extra fine nib because I have a very huge nib palette. And this is Diamine Dusted Truffle. Yes, I said Dusted Truffle. Had a brain fart there and completely forgotten. But just look at the shimmers in this. And I love Diamine shimmer inks because they are really quite consistent. I think that works so well. The shimmer in that, lovely. So that is my Hines Pen Co. in Heimdall with Diamine Dusted Truffle. The next pen and ink combination is another one that doesn't match in terms of the pen body and the ink color. I have my Twsbi Eco in Espresso Bronze. Yep, I'm just making sure, Espresso Bronze. And I am inking it with Robert Oster Earth. This was one of the inks that I had chosen when doing my Pilot Oroshizuku Inaho dupe exploration, and it's a really lovely ink, but I feel like this one leans a little bit more green rather than the brown yellow that Inaho is known for. So putting some on my vial there, or sorry, on my nib. Yeah, this definitely looks more green, but when it dries, it does dry to a little bit more of a brown. Lovely. So this is my Twsbi Eco in Espresso Bronze. Wow, my writing is doing very well today. And this is also an extra fine nib, and the ink is Robert Oster Earth. Like you can see how beautiful it is just from that ink swatch there, and already the chromo shading that's happening. Absolutely love that. I'm excited for this one. So again, Twsbi Eco Espresso Bronze with Robert Oster Earth. The next pen and ink combination is my Esterbrook SD in Quirky Leaf, and I have it inked with Robert Oster Saguaro Green. Now, there is a possibility that this was mixed up with Crocodile Green, but I'm just going to use what I've got and name it so. But again, with the caveat that the label may have been mixed up for this one. So let's go ahead and dip my new ornament nib in here. And see what this looks like. Oh, got a little bit too much on there. I'm actually really excited to start using this nib to do some monoline like I learned in the workshop. Such a lovely green. So now we have my, let's make sure you can actually see, this is my Esterbrook SD, and this is in Quirky Leaf. This has a, this came with a medium nib, but this actually has a reverse architect. And the ink in here is Robert Oster Saguaro Green. So the nib on here actually is like a regular way, an extra fine, which I love. And then the other way is an architect. Oop. So thin strokes going down and broader strokes going across. Really fun nib altogether. So my Esterbrook SD in Quirky Leaf with Robert Oster Saguaro Green. Stay. The next pen and ink combination is my Narwhal Voyage Tromso, and I have it inked with my newest. This is from Pannonia and Stationery Universe, Morning Morpho Shimmering. So I'm just agitating the bottle here so that I can get a ton of shimmer in my nib. And Tori of Stationery Universe is working on a restock of these right now, so definitely go and visit her website to add yourself to the restock notification. Just look at this. Isn't this stunning? All that shimmer. But also Tori's just the loveliest person. There we go. So this is my Narwhal Voyage Tromso, and this has a fine nib inked with Pannonia, Stationery Universe, Morning Morpho Shimmering. Because Tori also has this in the non-shimmering version, so if you don't like the shimmer, then you can purchase the non-shimmering. So that is my Narwhal Voyage Tromso with Pannonia Stationery Universe Morning Morpho. The next pen and ink combination is my Laban Rosa in the Cracked Ice, and I have it inked with Pannonia Stationery Universe Midnight Morpho. So this is a purple with a shimmer, and I'm so glad that I got to try both of these from Stationery Universe because they are stunning. So this one has almost a chromo shading effect as well as the shimmer. Tori did such a fantastic job with these. So when she asked me which ones I wanted, I'm like, shimmer, shimmer all the way, please. And while I love like chromo shading inks, if I also have the option for shimmer, that is what I'm going for. So this looks more like a blurple, but then you can already see there's some of that shimmer coming out there. So now it's in my Laban Rosa Cracked Ice. And this has in, what do I have in here? How do I not remember what's in here? I believe it's a fine nib. I'll have to double check. It is an extra fine nib. I forgot. It was either a fine or an extra fine. And it is Pannonia and Stationary Universe. And this one is Midnight Morpho. Shimmering. Really lovely, and I thought that this would be the best pen for it because this cracked ice, like you have some bits of purple and blue and gray in here, and that I feel like really matches with the ink. So that is my Laban Rosa Cracked Ice with Pannonia Midnight Morpho. And last but not least, we have another new acquisition. This is from the San Francisco Pen Show. This is from Mayfair Pens. It is in the Nulor model, and it is in the amethyst satin. And then the gold glitter resin in the middle is from Pens by Pasquale, I believe it is. But just look at the shimmer in here. And I love the matte finish of this. It just feels so lovely in the hand. So I have this inked with Tono and Limbs Amethyst, which is suiting because it's also amethyst satin. And I apologize for the dog that you're currently hearing in the background. That is not Lucy. Lucy is wonderfully fast asleep underneath my desk. I think that's either the neighbor's dog or somebody's dog. Look at that purple. Gorgeous. I'm trying to also work through all of the samples that I received in the last few months, and I'm doing pretty well with them actually. Whoop, that was not where I wanted to go. Love that. So this has a gold-plated steel nib here. This is my Mayfair Pens Nulor in amethyst satin. And this has an extra fine nib. Surprise, surprise. And this is inked with Tono and Limbs Amethyst. Gorgeous ink. I'm really feeling the purples right now. Love that. And I think that really brings out the amethyst that's in this resin here. Oops. So gorgeous. And I just love this, the feel of the satin finish. So that is my Mayfair Pens Amethyst Satin with Tono and Limbs Amethyst. So there are all of the pens and inks that I have for September, and I noticed how many pinks I have and the kind of blurple or purple that I've got, but not many actual fall-ish colors. So we'll see what this looks like. And I'm thinking to myself as well, did I really need the Rhodolite Garnet and New Year New Hue? And did I really need, oh, that fell over. Did I really need Midnight Morpho and Amethyst? Probably not, but they'll still be fun to use anyway. And I'm actually looking forward to just being able to use all these. I feel like having 10 pens will just make this month a little bit more sustainable for me, coming off of a very busy month. But I do hope to get back into 15 inks 30 days come October. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think is going to be the favorite for September, or if any of these are sticking out to you already. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again, and have yourselves a great day.